Hey, what's up everyone? Just want to share with you guys something I discovered on my Ti-30 during a ride last night, that I was getting at some points where the motors would seem to cut out. Like at a certain point I couldn't use dual motors anymore, or it felt like when I tried to throttle it would just like stutter or cut back like I was running low on voltage. Single motor mode, eventually it started doing the same thing. So I had this fully charged up and I took a ride down to a buddy's house about 10 miles away, and then him and his girlfriend go and get pizza and wings and a couple beers. So all in all, it's about a 24-mile ride round trip. I rode down there, fully charged battery, thing just ran great, smoking fast. After we're done eating and get back to his house, I'm getting ready to head back home. I checked my voltage and it was at like 58.9 volts. In the past, I've made the same ride on both my Q Power here, which is also 60 volt, but it's a 35 amp hour battery, where the Ti-30 battery is 38 amp hour. So the Ti-30 battery is actually a little more capacity than this one. And I also made that same ride before many times on my Q1, which has a 52 volt system, and its battery is 28 amp hour, so it's much less capacity than the 38 amp hour in the Ti-30, although of course this will require more power. Obviously it has more speed and is faster and more torque. So I had no reason to doubt that this with a 38 amp hour battery should have no problem getting me down there to the pizza place and back home. Round trip of about 24 miles that I've done many times on these other two scooters. I figured I'd just cut my speed back. I wouldn't push it. I'll keep it in single motor mode and go like 30 miles an hour or 25 if I have to. So I started heading home. I knew I couldn't use dual motors, that had already started giving out, so to speak. So I kept it in single motor mode. After several miles, I started feeling the back motor doing the same thing, where I felt like it was cutting out when I was trying to throttle. It stuttered. I got about halfway home, so I had about 5 more miles to go, and it got to the point where I couldn't go faster than 15 miles an hour without it doing the stutter thing. So I kept it 15 miles an hour. So I got home, I checked the battery level after I sat for 5 minutes or so. When I talk about checking the battery, I mean when the scooter stopped and not moving. Anyway, after about 5-10 minutes, I checked the battery, and it still had like 58 volts on it, where, so it's only like I used a volt coming home, which is understandable since I was going so slow, but it was limiting me to that, so to speak. So I still had, normally I would expect to be able to run this down. I don't like pushing my battery too low, but if I had to get home, I'd go 52 volts. It should be able to do that, no problem. You should be able to go actually lower, like 51, before you risk damaging it, but I don't like to push it that low. But anyway, at 58 volts, you should have enough power to go beyond 15 miles an hour. That was just ridiculous. So there's two things here. One, the problem is the battery, or two, the problem is controllers. The good news is the answer to that is it's the controllers, it's not the battery. The battery is far more expensive than a new set of controllers, so that's the good news part of it. Basically how I determined this is, this is a 60 volt battery in the Ti-30. I also have a 60 volt battery in my Q Power. So I took my Ti-30 battery out, and I took my Q Power battery and installed it into my Ti-30. So now I've got a different battery in there, same controllers, different battery. Took it for a test ride and got the same results. At about 60 volts, I could no longer use dual motors. I started stuttering. And as I got down to 58 volts, even in single motor mode, it started cutting out where I couldn't go any faster than like 16 miles per hour. So different battery, same controllers, same problem. So that tells me it's not the battery, it's the controllers. Beyond that, I then took the battery, which was now at 58 volts, out of the Ti-30, put it back in my Q Power, and I rode that thing. I could still use my dual motors. It was fast as anything. Still, I hit 40 miles per hour on it, riding dual motors the whole time for like 3 miles. Ran the battery down to 56 volts. So that same battery in this scooter where I was seeing the problem, I now put in this scooter and there's absolutely no problem. The thing runs great. So again, proving it's not the battery, it's the controllers in the Ti-30, the stock JP controllers that come in it. I could ride this to work and back. It's about 12 miles round trip, so I wouldn't run into that. My battery wouldn't get down that low. But I want to be able to take it 23 miles, 25 miles if I want to, or more, without having to go 15 miles per hour the whole way home, and then end up having excess voltage when you get home on the battery that you wish you could have used when you're driving. I'm going to install the other controllers I have, the Unili controllers, that are supposed to be better, and I fully expect this problem to go away with the new set of controllers, where you can actually utilize your battery down to the lower voltages, maybe, you know, down to 52 volts if you absolutely need to. Just want to get this out there, you guys. If any of you guys have this problem, or check your own, let me know in the comments. Try this out, run your battery down around 60 volts, try to use dual motor mode, see if it starts stuttering, and then beyond that, down around 58 volts, single motor mode, put it in like third gear, and see if you can, you know, ride for a while without feeling a stutter when you're trying to go faster than, you know, like 25 miles an hour. All right, guys, that's it for this one. I'll try to be doing those controllers pretty soon here, and let you know results then. All right, take care, guys. Peace. Ride safe.